Right, starting to get a wee bit worried here, David. Up until now, I haven't taken the polls very seriously.
Mm.
But the new Survation poll puts Labour out in front here in Scotland, and their polling methods are well known and documented.
Yeah.
Right? And on course to take 28 of the Scottish seats.
Yeah.
Now, this is a complete turnaround.
Let me just add to that, all right? It is possible, right, that things may happen that change that at the moment, right? However, it requires John Swinney and whomever he's got around about him to suddenly realise they're putting out the wrong message.
Yes, but we'll get to that in a wee second. Now, what this poll says is a complete turnaround for the last month's poll, which was predicting that they would get 16 or 17 seats max. This time it's predicting they got 28 seats and that the SNP will get 16 or 17 max.
Yeah. That would be utter, complete disaster.
This is the first time Survation has ever done a poll which shows support for independence going backwards.
Yes.
The very first time.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
And in this poll, they polled for the Holyrood election, and it also showed that Labour would be in front of the SNP with 48 seats and the SNP in 42. Now, of course, this is a snapshot, as you know, David. And as you say, this is like the Grand National. We're only just out the gates. We're on the first week. The messaging's definitely incorrect from John.
Yeah. You can't say any more than that. It's like you listen to what's coming out and you go, no, just no. It's like when you see your dad wearing a tie for the first time in a suit, and you just look at it and you go, no, Dad, don't do that. You know. Well, it's John Swinney at the moment, right? John, don't get me wrong. John is a wonderful politician. If it was mid-term and he took the reins of the SNP, he'd be marvellous because he'd keep the thing solid and keep it going.
But you've got to remember, David, it is mid-term for the Scottish Parliament.
Yeah, I know it is. But no, you can't count it as that. This general election is an important election, right? So you've got to count it as being the same in both stands, if you like, right?
Jordy, you can't take that attitude and talk of India, I'm not going to vote. That's the bit I'm about to get to.
Yeah, I know. Bloody hell. Oh.
You can't do that, Jordy. The movement's got to keep motivated, and John's got to realise, and he has got time, David, there's plenty of time.
Yeah, that's right.
But we're only on week one, a 7-week race. He's got time to get the messaging right.
Yeah,
but the movement as well have got to stay positive. Because what we're seeing here is a malaise in the movement.
Yeah.
And they talk of Indy. It's exactly why we've got that malaise in the movement. They had to get rid of Humza for a reason. I've explained this to people over and over again, David. With the Dundee Declaration, what I've done with our own MPs. But Humza was putting independence first, front and centre in this election, and that was a surefire winner. And that's why Humza had to go. For the Dundee Declaration, they'd been looking for a way to get rid of Humza. Because Humza had some fire in his belly. He was offering an end game. And that end game was what I've done with our own MPs. But there was still an end game in sight. Yeah. So the movement had a reason to be up. The SNP might have been gone backwards in the polls. But up until this poll, the Indie movement was growing.
Yes. That was hugely important because it showed a large band of people that could perhaps be talked into lending their vote to the SNP. Let's get it done. Yeah.
Now, when I interviewed Seamus, who's standing for Aberdeenshire, North and Moray East.
Yeah.
Now, what he was saying is that the SNP and the movement are one.
Not at the moment.
That's the problem, and that's what John has to sort with his messaging.
Yeah.
He has to get back to this. What was making the movement grow under Humza, and that was that he was offering an end game.
Listen, guys, you're going to have to realise this. If you want the event to be in our favour, somebody's going to have to put this video under John Swinney's nose and say, look, you're going the wrong direction, Mr. Swinney. Yeah, I know it might seem embarrassing, but however, it needs to be done.
As I say, there's time to fix this.
Yeah.
But John's got to remember that with the SNP vote alone, we're not going anywhere. It's been the movement that's been driving this for us in the SNP.
Right.
Especially since 2014, it's been the movement that's been driving it for the SNP.
Yeah.
The SNP are just the bus. You and I have discussed this. John really needs to get a grip with it. But I believe he's got time and we've got to be positive. But us in the movement as well have got to pick ourselves up.
Yeah.
Because
we can't allow these figures to drive us into the ground, because you look at other parties that have seen it happen to them, like Labour, drive them. I'm talking like years ago. The poll driving them into the ground, and they've got to pick themselves up and get going again, and they did. So if they can do it, you lot can do it. Seriously.
Aye.
It just takes a positive mental attitude, and that's it. You're away. You've got the ability to take the world on.
Don't you worry down there in Birmingham. We're staying strong. What we're just doing is sending a message to our leadership that their message is incorrect and they've misread the movement.
Yeah.
David and I have been the grassroots of this movement for fucking years. You can feel the malaise in the movement. We've been living this fucking movement since 2005.
By the way, these weeds need removing. Any chance of that?
As I say, but we've been living this since 2005, David.
Yeah. Oh.
No, as we went all out online, at that time we were doing it separately to get the SNP into power and to drive the SNP a message. Now, as I say, we have got to win this one movement, so you better get off your asses.
Yeah.
Because if we don't win that one, David and I have discussed it.
There's Stephen saying the polls were all wrong in one of the recent general elections. Granted, however, who was the lord that had his own polling company?
David, Lord Ashcroft.
Lord Ashcroft.
I follow Lord Ashcroft.
He came in and he actually he predicted it spot on, absolutely spot on.
But now, as I say, this is within the margin of errors. It's not a big deal.
I know.
It can be sorted. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to be a realist here. I've been living this movement for a long time now. And so have you. Yeah. And the movement has to get back behind the SNP as well.
Yeah, but also,
don't want to go backwards for 30 years. The movement needs to get back behind the SNP. But the movement needs leadership.
Yeah.
And at this point in time, John isn't offering it.
Yeah.
Whom's it was offering it? That's why you had to get shot at him.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the actual messages that should be coming out at the moment. You know, all this stuff about Labour that you could tell people, you could advertise actually, is they've got a lot of their funding comes from where? Where's that? Is that Israel? Aye. Oh, aye. There you go. Are they actually an Israeli party? I would go to say, yeah. In actual fact, they probably are. Right. Who is it that gives the money for the leaders to keep going all the rest of it? Israel again. Oh my goodness. And what we're doing, it's genocide against a people that live in a part of the world there. Helpless men, women and children being bombed to death. That's awful, right? Then there's the Tories. Tories are also dead easy to like knock down. You know, if you're in behind a Tory that's gone in talking to somebody, it's like all you need to do is say, Tories, are you kidding? Are you going to vote for them? You know, Rishi Sunak will be on an airplane to Los Angeles the very moment the election stops. That's it. He's off.
Aye. Right, let's move on to another mistake being made by John.
Yeah.
Michael Matheson saga.
Yes, and he has agreed. He has agreed with what's been put over by the Parliament on Friday. I think it was. Was it Friday? No, it was this week actually. He just stood up and said, "Yeah, basically that's that."
Stephen McNeil, there isn't enough of the Alpa to make a pact way. John has to bite the bullet and make a pact with Alpa. No, they fucking don't. They're irrelevant. The polls haven't even talked. They haven't even polled. A bit like the Greens, there's just no polling.
Yeah,
there is nobody to make a pact with. What the movement has to realise is that this is still the only bus.
Yeah.
What the SNP need to realise is they're not just a political party, they're a movement.
Yeah. And if listen to this, and listen carefully. If you are a member of the SNP, which I hope you are, you can actually do stuff within the party to change what they're doing. Like David and I are trying to do right now. Say to them, look, guys, you're going the wrong direction. Pull up and let's start going the right direction. Okay.
I mean,
any of you can do it. Become members of the SNP.
Look at Martin Day's output. Everything is punctuated with the need for independence. I'm not seeing that with John.
Yeah.
Right, but anyway, the Michael Matheson saga. I mean, last week he was going to take the committee on. First Minister's a day capitulation.
Yeah.
He's talking about consensus politics in a chamber where he is isolated because he's the only one who wants everybody to agree with each other. Yep. He's getting fucking slaughtered because of it.
Yeah.
And yet we know he's an able debater and he can take these spanners on because he's got more brain cells than both of them in his big toe.
Yeah.
You know, but as I say, the handling of the Michael Matheson thing is another mistake that John's made. Last week he was sticking up for Mr. Matheson, saying, this is a biased committee, let's have an appeal. This week he's capitulating.
Is it possible that we've got a party now where the people are making a decision of who's going to run the party for so long, and they didn't realise the election was going to come down the roads quite so fast?
Yes. I think actually the change of leadership in the SNP would be one of the reasons why unionists have called this election in. Because we're going to remember they are unionist parties.
Yeah.
They want all the advantage they can get. They need to kill off the SNP. They need to kill off the Yes movement.
Yeah, I know.
But as I say, Mathis is another mistake. But hey, it's not as if unionists are not making a mistake either. Because when we get right down to it, the media control is starting to get attention. I mean, you get
what the unionists are doing, whether they be red unionists or blue unionists or whatever colour of unionist, right? And all they're doing is keeping stung about what's really been happening. And therefore, the papers don't really have anything to do with it. It's like papers will write a report saying this and that, but it's not really listened to unless there's a unionist politician actually saying it.